The distant planet of Serapis, nestled on the fringes of the Galactic Empire, was a tranquil and idyllic world with vast green landscapes and towering cities of glass and steel that shimmered under the twin suns. It was here that Aaliyah, a bright and curious 17-year-old, lived with her family. An aspiring historian, she was deeply engrossed in uncovering the secrets of ancient human civilizations scattered across the cosmos, believing that these forgotten stories held keys to the present. One warm evening, as the suns dipped below the horizon, casting a purple glow across the sky, Aaliyah excitedly shared her latest discovery with her close friend Jax. In her family's old attic, she had found relics and old data pads filled with cryptic references to an ancient fleet. The excitement in her voice was palpable as she spoke of legends that suggested this fleet was hidden by humanity's ancestors as a safeguard against potential threats. However, Aaliyah's investigations had not gone unnoticed. Unbeknownst to her, agents of the Galactic Empire, always wary of unrest on their border worlds, had begun to monitor her activities. The Empire, a vast conglomeration of systems and species, maintained its power through control and suppression of historical narratives that could inspire dissent. The story takes a dark turn when Aaliyah is found dead under mysterious circumstances. Officially, it is ruled an accident, her body discovered in the wreckage of a crashed hover vehicle. But the community is skeptical. The vehicle was known to be in perfect condition, and Aaliyah was an experienced pilot. The news of her death sends shockwaves through Serapis. At her memorial, the air is thick with grief and anger. Jax, devastated by the loss of his friend, stumbles upon her last transmission, a message sent to him the night she died, containing a cryptic clue pointing to her latest, and most dangerous, discovery about the location of the ancient fleet. Fueled by sorrow and a growing distrust of the official narrative, Jax resolves to continue where Aaliyah left off. Her death becomes a catalyst for change, transforming her from a mere historian to a martyr for the burgeoning rebellion. In the shadows of the gathering dusk, murmurs of resistance begin to stir, as Aaliyah's friends and family gather, sharing stories of her dreams and aspirations, slowly knitting together the fabric of a revolt. In the final scenes of the chapter, Jax visits Aaliyah's grave, set on a small hill overlooking the city lights below. He vows to uncover the truth and fulfill Aaliyah's dream of bringing the forgotten histories of humanity to light. The chapter closes with Jax returning home, determined to decode Aaliyah's last message, setting the stage for a journey that could alter the fate of the galaxy. The chapter opens with Jax sitting in his dimly lit room, the only light coming from the flickering holograms of Aaliyah's last transmission. He watches it repeatedly, each time catching more of her urgency and fear. She speaks of a hidden site on an uncharted moon, where she believes the ancient fleet might be located. She mentions a series of coordinates and warns Jax to be cautious, hinting that she might be under surveillance. Fueled by a mixture of grief and determination, Jax sets out to share this revelation with a small, trusted group of Aaliyah's friends and fellow history enthusiasts. They meet secretly in an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of the city, where they discuss the implications of Aaliyah's findings. The group is diverse, a mix of scholars, engineers, and disillusioned citizens, all united by their connection to Aaliyah and their shared suspicion of the Empire's oppressive tactics. As they talk, the group acknowledges the risks involved in pursuing Aaliyah's leads. The Empire has always been quick to quash any signs of dissent, and their surveillance on the outer colonies has only tightened. Despite the dangers, the group decides that the chance to uncover a part of human history so significant and potentially so powerful as the ancient fleet is worth the risk. The friends begin to plan their next steps. They decide to split into two teams, one to investigate the coordinates Aaliyah mentioned, and another to delve into historical records and old star maps to gather more information about the fleet. As they mobilize, their technical skills come to the forefront, showcasing a mix of old-school hacking and cutting-edge technology to evade detection. Meanwhile, the Empire is not idle. An Imperial intelligence officer named Commander Vero tasked with monitoring dissident activities on Serapis, becomes suspicious of the sudden surge in encrypted communications and unusual gatherings among the colonists. He starts a quiet investigation, using drones and spies to gather information. The chapter also introduces a subplot involving Jax's sister, Mia, who works in the city administration. Unaware of Jax's new clandestine activities, she notices anomalies in the data streams and increased surveillance directives coming from higher up. Her growing unease with her role provides another perspective on the Empire's reach and control. As the chapter concludes, the team makes a breakthrough. Using a combination of Aaliyah's clues and their own research, they locate what appears to be an ancient star map, pointing directly to a forgotten sector of space. They realize that finding the fleet could give them leverage against the Empire, potentially enough to shift the balance of power in the galaxy. The chapter ends with the group preparing for a covert expedition to the coordinates, their spirits bolstered by the hope that Aaliyah's death will not be in vain and might lead to a monumental discovery. The chapter begins with Jax and his team aboard a retrofitted cargo ship, camouflaged among the countless vessels navigating the busy trade routes of the outer sectors. Their destination is a desolate moon, long forgotten by galactic charts, but marked by Aaliyah's coordinates. The mood is tense. Everyone understands the gravity of their mission and the consequences should they be discovered by Imperial forces. Upon arrival, the moon appears lifeless, a stark contrast to the bustling activity they left behind. Its surface is scarred by ancient craters and deep ravines, evidence of a turbulent past. The crew lands near the coordinates, hidden in the shadow of a massive crater. With the ship powered down to avoid detection, they proceed on foot, equipped with sensor packs and excavation tools. The site is eerily silent, the stillness broken only by the sound of their equipment beeping and whirring as they scan for anomalies. After hours of searching, they discover an entrance concealed beneath debris and rock. It's an artificial structure, clearly not of natural origin, suggesting they've found what Aaliyah had died trying to locate. Inside, the structure is vast and labyrinthine, filled with technological marvels that defy their understanding. The architecture is utilitarian, built to last rather than to impress, hallmarks of a bygone era when humanity prioritized survival over aesthetics. As they delve deeper, they find the fleet, rows upon rows of spacecraft, their designs sleek yet formidable, suspended in stasis fields that have preserved them through the ages. The revelation is overwhelming. The fleet is real, a tangible link to their ancestors' ingenuity and foresight. Among the ships, they find a control room filled with stasis pods containing ancient warriors, their bodies perfectly preserved. Jax and the team are faced with a moral and technical dilemma. Should they attempt to awaken these guardians of the past, who may hold the knowledge and authority to command the fleet? Meanwhile, back on Serapis, Mia's suspicions grow as she uncovers a network of unauthorized data breaches and encrypted communications leading back to her brother's last known location. Torn between loyalty to her brother and her duty to the administration, she confronts Jax over a secure channel, demanding the truth. Jax confesses his mission to her, revealing the existence of the ancient fleet and its potential to change the fate of their world. After a moment of tension, Mia decides to aid her brother's cause, using her position to mislead the Imperial surveillance and buy the team more time. As the chapter closes, the team successfully reactivates the fleet's central command system. Ancient screens flicker to life, and star maps expand before them, showing strategic points of the galaxy once held by their forebears. The chapter ends with the dramatic activation of the ancient warriors' stasis pods, their eyes opening for the first time in millennia, ready to confront a galaxy that has long forgotten their sacrifice. The chapter opens with the ancient warriors slowly emerging from their stasis pods, their movements deliberate and their expressions grave. They are adorned in battle armor that, though centuries old, still carries a menacing gleam. The leader of the warriors, whom they refer to as Commander Lyra, approaches Jax and his team. Her initial distrust softens as she learns of their cause and Aaliyah's sacrifice, which mirrors the stories of valor and resistance from her time. Commander Lyra and her warriors, quickly assimilate the changes that have occurred during their long sleep. They are briefed on the current political landscape and the technological advancements that have taken place. Although the galaxy has progressed, the struggles for power and freedom remain constant, resonating deeply with them. After assessing the capabilities of their ancient fleet, they decide it is time to make a move before the Empire becomes aware of their awakening. Meanwhile, on Serapis, Mia faces increasing scrutiny as her attempts to cover her brother's tracks attract the attention of her superiors. She is questioned by Commander Vero, who is becoming increasingly suspicious of her actions. Mia manages to deflect his probing with plausible excuses, but she knows that her time to act without consequence is running out. Back at the moon base, Jax and the ancient warriors finalize their plans for a surprise attack against a nearby Imperial supply depot. The objective is twofold: to test the capabilities of the ancient ships in modern combat, and to send a clear message to the Empire that a new force has risen. As the ancient fleet launches, their departure remains undetected, thanks to the moon's interference with radar technology. The ships, powered by technology advanced even by current standards, close in on the depot with stealth and precision. The Imperial forces, caught off guard, scramble to mount a defense. The battle is swift and decisive. The ancient ships, leveraging superior agility and firepower, decimate the depot, leaving a smoldering ruin in their wake. The victory is a significant morale booster for Jax's team and the ancient warriors. It proves that the old fleet is more than a match for the Empire's modern armada. However, the destruction does not go unnoticed. The Empire quickly realizes that the attack's sophistication suggests a threat they had never anticipated. In the aftermath of the skirmish, the galaxy's news networks buzz with reports of the mysterious assault. Speculation abounds regarding the perpetrators, with many unable to believe that such an advanced force could appear seemingly out of nowhere. The Empire tightens security across its territories and dispatches reconnaissance teams to track down the rogue elements. The chapter ends with Commander Lyra and Jax evaluating their next moves. They understand that the Empire will now be on high alert, making their campaign more difficult but not impossible. Lyra, inspired by the modern resistance and guided by her ancient mandate to protect humanity, prepares her warriors for the prolonged conflict that lies ahead. As they ready themselves, the lines between past and present blur, uniting them in their common goal: freedom from tyranny. The chapter begins in the aftermath of the successful raid on the Imperial supply depot. Word of the attack spreads like wildfire across the galaxy, igniting conversations and speculation in every corner of inhabited space. Rumors swirl about the identity and origin of the mysterious fleet, with some speculating about a secret rebel base or a hidden military experiment gone rogue. The Empire, rattled by the audacity and precision of the strike, increases its propaganda efforts to quell any rising hope among its oppressed citizens. Meanwhile, Commander Lyra, Jax, and the rest of the team use the momentum of their victory to reach out to potential allies across the galaxy. They send encrypted messages detailing their success and the truth about the ancient fleet. These communications find their way to various system leaders, resistance cells, and disillusioned Imperial officers who have grown weary of the Empire's tyranny. The response is mixed, but a number of key players are intrigued and request secret meetings to discuss possible alliances. These include a charismatic leader from the technologically advanced planet of Vectra, who has long sought a way to openly challenge the Empire without facing immediate destruction, and a seasoned pirate queen who controls key trade routes and can provide logistical support in exchange for a share in the new power structure. Back on Serapis, Mia finds herself under increasingly tight scrutiny as the Empire begins to suspect a mole within its ranks. Using her administrative access and cunning, she manages to erase traces of her illicit activities just in time, but realizes that her position is becoming untenable. She makes the difficult decision to leave her life behind and join her brother and the rebellion. In the galaxy's underworld and fringe sectors, the news of the ancient fleet stirs hope and courage. Spontaneous acts of rebellion start occurring, with various groups staging their own attacks against Imperial targets. These are not as organized or successful as the fleet's actions, but signify a shift in the public sentiment towards active resistance. The pivotal moment of the chapter occurs during a clandestine summit on a neutral asteroid base, where representatives of various factions meet with Jax, Lyra, and their team. After intense negotiations, a fragile alliance is formed. The diverse group agrees to coordinate their efforts under the leadership of the Ancient Fleet, now recognized as a symbol of galactic resistance. They outline a strategy that involves multiple fronts, combining guerrilla tactics with strategic strikes against Imperial assets. As the chapter closes, the newly formed alliance prepares for their next major operation. Ships from different corners of the galaxy, bearing distinct markings and flags, begin to assemble at a secret rendezvous point. Among them, Mia arrives on a smuggler's ship, relieved to be reunited with her brother, and ready to use her insider knowledge to aid the cause. The chapter ends with a powerful scene of the ragtag fleet gathering in the shadow of a gas giant, a symbol of diverse peoples uniting for a common cause. Commander Lyra addresses the assembled crew, her voice resonant and inspiring, invoking the memory of Aaliyah and all those who have suffered under the Empire. With a renewed sense of purpose, the Alliance prepares to shake the foundations of the Galactic Empire, setting the stage for a series of epic battles that will determine the fate of the galaxy. As tensions escalate across the galaxy, the newly formed alliance makes a daring move by targeting a critical Imperial stronghold within the Orion's Nebula, a strategic location that houses a major fuel depot, supplying numerous Imperial fleets. The nebula's dense gas clouds and erratic electromagnetic fields make it a dangerous battleground, offering both a cover and a challenge to navigation and communication. The chapter opens with the Alliance fleet, slowly maneuvering through the vibrant colors of the nebula. Commander Lyra and Jax oversee the operation from the command ship, coordinating the diverse units. Their plan is complex, relying on precision and the element of surprise. The Alliance forces are divided into smaller squads, each tasked with different objectives including sabotage, direct assault, and securing escape routes. As they approach the depot, the Alliance launches a series of feints and diversions along the nebula's perimeter, drawing out portions of the Imperial fleet stationed as guards. Pirate queen ships, swift and agile, lead these diversionary attacks, taunting the Imperial ships into chasing them through hazardous regions of the nebula. Meanwhile, Jax's team, accompanied by a squad of ancient warriors, infiltrates the depot station using stealth shuttles. Inside, they encounter minimal resistance, thanks to the diversions. They quickly move to plant explosives and seize control of the station's main control room. Mia, utilizing her intimate knowledge of Imperial protocols, helps disable the station's security systems, giving them the edge they need. Back in the nebula, the battle intensifies as more Imperial reinforcements arrive. The Alliance forces, now fully engaged, find themselves struggling against the Empire's superior numbers. Commander Lyra makes a critical decision to commit their main fleet, previously held in reserve. The ancient ships, with their advanced technology, turn the tide of the battle, showcasing devastating firepower and resilience. In a dramatic climax, the depot's explosives are detonated just as Imperial reinforcements make a final push to reclaim the station. The explosion is massive, lighting up the nebula and causing significant damage to the Imperial fleet. The shockwave creates chaos, under which the Alliance forces begin a tactical retreat, using pre-planned routes through the nebula's less volatile areas. As they regroup at their secret rendezvous point, the mood among the Alliance is triumphant, yet somber. They have won a significant victory and dealt a heavy blow to the Empire's logistics and morale. However, the battle has also resulted in substantial losses, with many brave fighters from various factions sacrificing their lives. The chapter concludes with a poignant scene where Jax, Mia, and Commander Lyra honor those who fell in the battle. They acknowledge the harsh realities of their struggle and the sacrifices that will still be needed. Yet there's a stronger sense of unity and purpose among the Alliance members, bolstered by their recent success. The victory in the Orion's Nebula not only signifies a tactical win, but also symbolizes the growing strength and cohesion of the galactic resistance movement. As the fleet repairs and regroups, they prepare for the next phase of their campaign, knowing that the Empire will retaliate with even greater force. The battle has indeed shifted the momentum, but the war for the galaxy's future is just beginning. After their significant victory at the Orion's Nebula, the Alliance finds itself at a critical juncture. The news of their success has spread throughout the galaxy, inspiring more systems to join the cause. However, with greater support comes greater scrutiny, and the delicate bonds of the Alliance are tested by internal conflicts and differing agendas. The chapter opens with a tense meeting among the leaders of the Alliance aboard the command ship. Discussions are fraught with disagreements on strategy and leadership. The Pirate Queen, with her growing influence, pushes for more aggressive raids against Imperial assets, while others, led by a cautious sector governor, argue for fortifying their positions and seeking diplomatic solutions where possible. Commander Lyra, ever the strategist, tries to balance these perspectives, but tensions are high and compromises are hard to reach. Meanwhile, Jax grapples with his new role as a leader within the Alliance. His friendship with Commander Lyra deepens as he seeks her advice on leadership and the burdens it brings. Lyra, sharing wisdom from her ancient past, warns Jax of the isolation that command can impose, suggesting that the true challenge of leadership is not in the battles fought, but in the unity maintained. As these political dramas unfold, the Empire strikes back with a cunning propaganda campaign aimed at sowing distrust among the Alliance members. They release doctored footage and false reports, suggesting that the Alliance leaders are in secret negotiations with the Empire, planning to betray their followers. The misinformation stirs unrest among the Alliance ranks, leading to protests and confrontations on several allied planets. Mia, now the head of intelligence for the Alliance, takes on the challenge of counteracting the Imperial propaganda. She orchestrates a series of truth campaigns, utilizing hacked Imperial channels to broadcast real footage from the battles and testimonies from those liberated from Imperial control. Her efforts help to mitigate some of the damage, but doubts linger among the populace. The internal strife and public doubt reach a climax when an assassination attempt is made on Jax during a public address. The attempt fails, thanks to the swift action of the ancient warriors who still serve as his personal guard. The investigation into the attempt reveals it was orchestrated by a fringe faction within the Alliance, one that has been radicalized beyond the common cause. This betrayal prompts a re-evaluation of the Alliance's structure and security. Jax and Lyra lead a council that decides to implement more stringent measures for transparency among the leadership and a tighter vetting process for strategic positions. They also agree on the formation of a unified command center, designed to coordinate efforts more effectively and prevent infiltration. The chapter ends with a somber yet hopeful tone. While the immediate crisis has been averted, the shadows of doubt have left their mark. Jax reflects on the day's events with Lyra, acknowledging the internal threats are as dangerous as those from the Empire. They reaffirm their commitment to their cause, understanding that the path to freedom is fraught with challenges both from within and without. As the Alliance shores up its defenses and prepares for the next confrontation, they are more united but also more wary, knowing that the enemy they face is not only the Empire, but the very fears and suspicions that threaten to tear them apart from the inside. The final chapter unfolds as the Alliance braces for a decisive confrontation with the Galactic Empire, which has gathered its forces for a massive assault aimed at crushing the rebellion once and for all. The battleground is near the galactic core, a region dense with stars and political significance, making it a symbolic and strategic choice for the climactic clash. As the chapter opens, the Alliance's unified command center is abuzz with activity. Jax and Commander Lyra oversee the final preparations, ensuring that their forces are positioned optimally across key points. The Alliance fleet, now a formidable force that integrates technology from across the galaxy, stands ready, a testament to the unity and resilience of the various factions. The first phase of the battle begins with intense space combat. The Imperial fleet, confident in their numerical superiority, launches wave after wave of attacks. However, they are met with fierce resistance, as the Alliance's ships, piloted by the best from every sector, maneuver through the starry battlefield with precision and determination. The battle is chaotic and fierce, with significant losses on both sides. Meanwhile, on the Galactic Core's key planets, ground forces engage in crucial skirmishes to control planetside weapons and communication arrays. Mia leads a specialist team on a critical mission to disable the Empire's main communication hub, which coordinates the Imperial fleet movements. After a tense and perilous operation, Mia's team successfully disrupts the hub, sowing confusion among the Imperial ranks and tipping the scales in the battle. As the tide turns, Commander Lyra leads a daring maneuver that traps a significant portion of the Imperial fleet against the gravitational pull of a nearby neutron star. With the Empire's forces in disarray, Jax commands a final push, rallying his pilots with a stirring speech that echoes through the comms, inspiring his fighters with the vision of a free galaxy. The climax of the battle sees the Alliance forces breaking through the Imperial lines, delivering a crushing blow that decisively weakens the Empire's hold on the galaxy. In the aftermath, as the debris of war drifts through space, there is a profound sense of both victory and loss. The final scenes depict the signing of a new galactic charter, with leaders from across the galaxy coming together on a newly liberated planet. The charter outlines the formation of a new democratic coalition government, promising to uphold the freedoms and unity fought for so hard. Jax, Mia, and Commander Lyra are seen as heroes, but they step aside, allowing new leaders to emerge and shape the future. The chapter closes with a reflective moment between Jax and Mia, watching as the first free elections in decades are broadcast across the galaxy. They talk about Aaliyah, remembering her dreams and the spark she ignited. The scene ends with a sense of closure for their personal journeys and an optimistic look toward the future, as children play under the stars of a free galaxy, their laughter a fitting tribute to those who sacrificed everything for this moment. Thus, Galactic Empire killed human girl, so we activated our ancient fleet, concludes not just with the end of a war, but with the beginning of a new era of peace and cooperation, signifying that the true strength of the galaxy lies in its diversity and unity.